Dear God of Anime, I know it's been a while since we last talked, but how are you doing? I've been doing pretty good, and I can see that you've been pretty busy yourself with all the new anime you've been pumping out. This season's been alright so far. I mean, Mob Psycho 100 is pretty good, and 91 Days is decent, but hey! Great going on that ReZero, man. Everyone is eating that shit up like crack. But, do we really need another Sword Art Online movie? No, you know what? I trust that you know what you're doing, so let's not go there. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time, as I know you're a busy guy and all, so all I really wanted to ask is that you make another season of One Punch Man. The first season was pretty dope, and, you know, it was pretty popular too, so I'm sure the whole world wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of it. Cool? Alright, that's pretty much all of it. Thanks, bye! Though, if you did have a bit more time on your hands, there were a few more things I wanted to see. If we're still talking sequels, I don't know how many more years you're gonna make me wait for another season of Baccano. I mean, you gave one to Durara, so don't tell me it's not possible, alright? It's not like I've spent the last 9 years praying for you to make this happen or anything. Also, while you're at it, how about another season of Spice and Wolf? Look, you gave us a legitimately interesting show about economics, then took that away from us. So now what the hell are we supposed to watch? Do you even know how boring economics really is when there's not a naked wolf lady that comes with it? It's really fucking boring, alright? I mean, compared to that, the finance channel is just like... well, it just looks like a bunch of pompous twats arguing about numbers, really. And don't even get me started on how you left the Haruhi franchise. Look, I don't care how many dudes Aya Hirano has banged, and I'm sure nobody else does still care except for possibly the bass guitarist, but you can't make one of the greatest franchise films of all time and then just leave it there. Look, I'd even take people doing the fucking Haru Haru Yukai dance in public again if I can see more Haruhi, alright? What happens to Kyon when he opens the door? Are they actually having hot pot? Is Haruhi being an arrogant bossy bitch again? Is the world on fire? Is there a massive orgy going on? I need to know! And I know there's more sequels I need, but on this topic, Madhouse, yes, I'm talking to you, studio. I fucking hate making sequels, Madhouse. How about you stop making half-decent shows and just ending it at a single season, yeah? You may think people will forget the amount of times you've dangled plot points for another season in front of us in shows like High School of the Dead, No Game No Life, Overlord, Batum, and One Punch Man. But we don't. It's ingrained in our minds eternally, and we're still waiting. Look, I get it. Working on Redline for 7 goddamn years has given you some commitment issues, but it's been what, 7 years since that was released now? It's time to get back in the game, man. Settle on a show or two to stick with till the end and you might even make a fair buck from it. Look what Shaft have done with Monogatari and A1 have done with... okay, bad example. Just don't take sequel advice from Bones, okay? That's all I really ask. Bones, I love you, but Darker Than Black Season 2 and Eureka 7 AO have just kind of scarred me for life. And also, don't listen to Gynax about endings either. Fucking panty and stocking! Actually, Madhouse, you know what? Screw the sequel thing. All you really need to do to make me happy is a complete anime adaptation of 20th Century Boys like you did with Monster. Now I've been fighting all the naysayers who've been telling me that you'll never do it in this day and age, but I have faith. Maybe you'd be more interested in it if Guillermo del Toro actually got the live-action Monster approved? Maybe? And maybe you'd give me the shonen adaptation of Siren like I always wanted? Come on, you know it'd be better than 90% of the other shonens coming out right now. I mean, you gave Akame ga fucking Kill a bloody shot, so it can't be that unlikely, right? But if I can't have that, how about just a shonen with a tournament? No, I don't mean like the Battle Royale free-for-alls we see everywhere nowadays, or that one in One Piece. Just a pure one-on-one battle, mano-e-mano, like we used to see literally everywhere in the old days. Not that I don't love Shokugeki, but there is a difference between seeing fists flying at each other and watching people having multiple orgasms at the sight of some cheese on toast, you know? Also, Mr. God of Anime, can you please say something to the Devil of Anime, because I am tired of him pissing all over the Berserk franchise. Now, I don't know who sold their soul to the devil to get more Berserk made, but now we know that the fucking catch was it would make any Berserk fan want to burn their eyeballs out with hot iron. Now, I'm not sure if you cursed this franchise or something, but it would be nice if it finally got the adaptation it deserved. You know, a full-length series that is not a PowerPoint presentation slideshow, but at the same time, not an amateur CG animation that would make anyone who watches it want to castrate themselves with a pair of pliers. Also, tell me Yura I said hi. Tell him it's no rush, but I do hope I can see the end of Berserk in my lifetime. No pressure. Also, while you're there, tell Oda I'm looking forward to seeing the end of One Piece in my next life. On a lighter note though, I see that you've watched my 5 concepts I'd like to see in anime video since you're actually making an esports anime. Thanks for that. I genuinely didn't know about it until half the viewers of that video told me about it. Wait, what do you mean this isn't an anime? What? This is being made in China, you say? So that means it's technically a Chinese cartoon. Whew. Okay, well, this is awkward. Moving on, will I one day be able to hear Steve Bloom's sexy voice in another anime? Heck, I'd even say Crispin Freeman again. I know that we're trying to broaden our voice acting pool above these two, Wendy Lee, Johnny Young Bosch and Lucy Christian we had 10 years ago, but I have yet to encounter another voice that could caress my eardrums in such sensual pleasure as their voices did back in the day. No homo. Oh, who am I kidding? Complete fucking homo. And how about a horror anime that is actually scary? Don't get cocky because a bunch of people thought my lollies can't be this crazy and yet another gore fest was scary. I'm talking about a proper suspenseful show that is entirely dedicated to horror. Not this, hey, I'm gonna label this as horror but it's really a shonen action show with lots of blood. We all know your people can do live action horror masterfully, so why is it so difficult to translate this into an anime show? Monster and Perfect Blue are the closest you've definitely come, but I'm sure you can come up with an amazing horror that isn't just psychological. Speaking of things that need to be made, hats off to you for finally getting Kizumono out and everything, but is Evangelion 4.0 gonna follow in its footsteps anytime soon? I mean, have you given Hideaki Anno crippling depression again, or is the wait for 4.0 the actual ending to the rebuilds of Evangelion? Which would only be slightly more satisfying than the actual end of Evangelion. But aside from all this, do you know what I miss? Original stories and complete endings. Not that I have a problem with light novel adaptations, but there is just a tiny bit too much going on now, isn't there? Maybe you could throw us some original IP our way once in a while so we know that we're gonna get a complete story from the start. But I know studios don't like taking risks on new things, so how about this? How about we just get adaptations of source material that is already complete? I know, right? That's pretty mind-blowing. There have been way too many 12-episode anime recently that only exist as a glorified advertisement to their source material. What happened to the good old days when having at least a 24-episode series was the norm and everything above that was the exception? Endings that would tie up everything it needed in a nice little package instead of the usual legions of fans asking how much source material there is available, or an ending consisting of an anime studio going, is this gonna make money? I mean, we'll make another season of it if it makes money. Maybe. Probably not. No more of that, okay? And erased doesn't fucking count. Anyway, that about sums everything up. I know you're a busy geezer, but I do hope to see some of these things one day. Love and kisses, Tsundere Fuckboy 95, aka Gigguk. Oh, and PS, I'm still waiting for you to make waifus real, yeah? Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much this month to Gabe Brown, Thomas B, Vincent Mooney, Merederai, and everyone else supporting me on Patreon for making this possible. Now, if you think I missed something that you'd want to see from anime, please leave a comment telling me or do your own open letter, since I'm sure I forgot something that we all want, right? Anyway, that's it from me. No updates from me this time. I've been Gigguk, and I'll see you all next time.